Okay, so there is my textured background for painting. That one's really quite simple, more simple than the one I'm working on with you, but you see how I continue to make the texture. I could stop and go with that one just like that. My watercolor is still drying. I have a little bit of paint that might still be wet from earlier. I did quite a lot with my design class, so I don't know if it is or not. That I will pull out a brush and see. Looks like I've got some blue there that's still usable. Maybe a little bit of green. Definitely a little bit of white. Alright, and I'm not using a source. I'm working on these circus pictures like the one that I showed you in my autobiography that I did, just out of my head. So here I am making a turquoise green bear. I've got quite a lot of regular acrylic. I am not trying to cover up the color. That is in the background. To me, scumbling is a little bit like glazing. Glazing is putting a transparent color down and letting the background color go through. The difference between scumbling and glazing is you can still do that with a fairly opaque paint, depending on how much you push it into your picture. And oil painters scumble their background and scumble their colors into their canvas in the background and push the oil because it's not going to dry all the time. It is a traditional way that once you start painting, I don't know if you can see because of this long canvas. See if I can move this around a little bit. But the polka dots and all that texture is showing through the turquoise to that bear. And I wanted to do that because it's going to be far more beautiful to look at. It'll create a more glowing paint. And if you see, I haven't added any paint to my brush. I had quite a lot on there. And if it goes out of the line, see my little brown watercolor pencil lines that I have there, if it goes out of the line, since this background is dry and has a color, I can just take a paper towel, so I'm not being fussy. That's another nice thing about working this way, is you are actually painting. You aren't just drawing and filling something in. So if it goes really bad out of the line, then I can take and wet my paper towel and clean it off. If it goes a little bit out of the line, it's actually going to make a better painting. See, it's got a little bit there. If I'm really concerned, I can pick up a brush and lift it back off with a little bit of water. See how easy that is then to work this way with a textured background and pushing a color into it. So I will. Somehow I forgot that I picked up water apparently. So now see what will happen by doing that. And you can always use this as a technique. So if you want to lift something out, my bear can have a nice white light value change there because I accidentally put water on him there. We go with it. Wabi sabi, you go with it. Serendipity, that all those things that painters use. So I've dried my brush a little, and since I've got that there, I'm going to come in with a little bit of a lighter color of white or green and to scumble in on top of it there. Whether you're painting abstractly, if you're painting out of your mind, if you're painting imagination, if you're painting flowers, I don't know what you will have picked to paint today. The subject matter is pretty wide open. That abstract just basically means it's not realistic. If I'm painting fantasy-based, which most children's books are, then I'm looking for all kinds of fantastic, that's fantasy, things to happen within my painting. Okay, so right now he is there, and I could go on to the next step, or I can work on the background. I feel like showing you artist that is painting in this direction. This is called, this is a Whisper. She does greeting cards. She illustrated children's books. She's won a Caldecott Award winner. And I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And see the wild background colors and shapes that are coming through her illustrations, that through the background. This is all scumbled paint, that she is scumbling the backgrounds and letting some of the backgrounds show through. And she's very decorative with what she puts in her painting, very out there, very imaginative within her pieces in her village. And she has some things that I know that she's using mixed media. She's using digital, like those stars that are in this piece. Those are all added digitally. She could do collage. So that is the direction that I'm going with the bear. So you can see that this will inspire other things that are going to happen in the background as well. So in the pictures that I gave you as examples, that there was a lot of different texture and a lot of different things happening to the background. So I think I really like the green tone that is coming with him, and that is really nice. Within that color palette, and I have no idea what's going to be on my background right now, but I think I will come in and scumble in the ball. How pretty that is. And then I've got two bears up above here. Since this is long and thin, and I'm not quite sure what I will do with this